Hi, I'm Bryan, and this is Ruth. And we met about 10 years ago. I was the best man at a wedding, and Ruth was the maid of honor. And that was our initial meeting. We didn't start dating for about 10 years or 8 years after that fact.
I always remembered our conversations, and I think that was what really stood out and attracted me to him. It was enough to, move us through the years and led us to our first date.
Ruth told me she was an art history major, and I'm a history major, and I think she was the only Korean history major I had met. And I think it also allowed me to have hope because as an art history major, Ruth has an appreciation for old things, and so I thought I knew I had a chance.
We've been married for 4 years. We'll be approaching our 4th year in July.
I thought I was realistic. I knew that marriage wouldn't be easy. I knew that intellectually, I knew that there would be ups and downs.
I thought I knew myself enough to know that it wouldn't be so difficult, or I wouldn't let it get so difficult. We had a blissful about 9 months together. Into the 10th month or so, we experienced the death of his father, which was very sudden, and it started to change.
The first catalyst would have been the death of my father. All death is unexpected, but for me it was particularly unexpected because they had gone on a trip and he was abroad. Ruth and I had been hoping for a family, and that was taking a little bit longer. We had just bought a house. I had actually downsized my career.
Transitional stages that can be stressful on its own, and dealing with a loss of a parent was just, it was just too much at the time. I wanted Bryan to lean on me, but as he said, he went into a sense of duty mode for being the eldest in his family. And while there was patience in the beginning and a sense of accessibility for him, it ran out. For the times that we weren't fighting,
it would go from 0 to 100 very quickly. It could be
so
very
quickly.
calm, and then all of a sudden, it could just turn into a tornado. And intellectually, I always believed in the benefit of counseling. But then when Ruth suggested it, I balked at the idea. But eventually we did get there, and I think it was having that third party.
I started to see that our union was not something that was just by choice or by mistake.
You know, the understanding that no matter what we do, we are imperfect, and the only thing that we have to rely on is Christ. As I had to break down my pride, what I thought was right.
Patience started to grow again in terms of accepting Bryan and why he was the way he was at times.
So rooted in Christ to me means Christ accepts us as we are, and I think my role as a husband is to be Christlike, and so it really means accepting Ruth as she is.
Being rooted in Christ for me is what I think allows me to go forward in this marriage. God really is good, and that His timing is perfect, and who we are now as Christians or as children of God, that it is enough to overcome the challenge that we're placed in.